This video demonstration, we're going to look at the FLIR, the Zemyouth FLIR by DJI, and take a look at just the capabilities of it. It was very much a learning experience flying with this setup, as it's very different than flying with a traditional camera during daylight hours. You really have to be trained and knowledgeable about what you're looking at to understand it. And so I just used an example of myself as a target. As you can see, looking at different pallets, and about the middle of your screen, I'm moving to the left. There's more like a hot pallet. Choosing these different pallets I find very challenging because you may need different ones for different settings, which will work for the best, for the conditions, for the temperature, and for the terrain and vegetation, for example. So this area is just a large open field. It was very dark at the time of the shooting as the sun was continuing to go down and the ambient temperature was dropping. And so I'm trying to track myself as the target in a wide open area to test and see how well this could work in a real search and rescue type of situation, or a tracking situation for a criminal who was evading police and so on. And as you can see, there's lots of other signatures, heat signatures on that pallet there, which would make it difficult to identify the person if they were not moving. The resolution with this setup just isn't there. But with other more advanced models, we know they would be much better. So you can see the car in the middle of the screen, sort of on the driveway, was giving very good heat signatures. And there you go, as the target's moving, then you can really appreciate what you're looking at that point, and begin to come in closer and track it, and track what you were seeing and be able to positively identify it. That's in close, probably within 30 meters there. And there's a good pallet, a good shot of a good pallet that really showed the heat signature of my body very well in comparison to the surrounding terrain. And that would affect how cold it is, how hot is the terrain, in terms of how much distortion you're going to get. So I think some of these better shots were due to the fact that night was well after sunset and the terrain had a chance to cool down, thus to stop the infrared interference and noise, if you will. There's the building, which clearly had the heat on. So the infrared that we're dealing with obviously has the disadvantages, infrared jamming. If there's other, artificial sources of heat or natural, like rocks that heat up and hold heat, obviously that will give you a hot spot. And so it's really up to the observer and the sensor operator to really make sure that what you're looking at is a human, for example, if you're looking for a human that's lost or a suspect. There you can see clearly the signature is moving, and so there we'd have a positive identification. Obviously this one has no heat seeking technology, where sometimes with more advanced systems they'll actually detect a life form, if you will, before the naked eye could, and highlight that on the screen. Overall, it's a challenge using this equipment. There's an example of me just toggling through the different pallets to try to choose the best one for the situation that you're in. And as you can see, this is in time order. The later you get on in the day, there you have a moving target right down there. Heat signatures become more apparent, and you can work to positively identify heat signatures in that context. And certainly up close with this camera, you get a much better definition when you're in close.